check, check, check. Third game of the day for CEP. Which is sweet, though.
All right, here we go. We got Chattanooga CEP taking on the Los Angeles Ironmen. I'm Matty Marshall. I got Nick Sloviak up here from Chicago Aftershock. 5 seconds before the start of this next match here. Galveston Open, PSP 2011.
And the game is on.
All right, so good breakout for the Ironmen as they're able to shoot just one Chattanooga player off the break on the snake side of the field. They're trying to dig out and fill it. They're able to get out clean. So they got a pretty decent field spread for Chattanooga right now.
We got 5 alive for the Ironmen. Pretty standard breakout.
So the Ironmen able to make that quick bump over here, getting that insert Dorito right behind the snake, and that's Humphreys. And Humphreys has played pretty consistent for the Ironmen so far today. You know, the Ironmen had a really good win earlier on against the Russians this morning.
CEP now on the snake and moving up to that Dorito 2. I gotta tell you though, seeing CEP for their first pro debut, their first match this morning against Impact, I was pretty impressed.
Yeah, I was pretty impressed too. You know, we were up here and I was like, hey, I wonder what's gonna happen. The rookies coming out here, stepping up and heading in the pro division. And I'll give them props, man. They played Impact, only lost by a point, and they look pretty good doing it. You know,
and they're down on bodies now, and they're in the 50 Dorito, in the snake.
Yeah, it takes some gumption to press forward when down on bodies playing against the Ironmen.
Yeah,
and they haven't shown any fear. That's what I like about Chattanooga right now, is that though they're playing in their first pro event, they're not scared of any of these teams, and that's so big because there's always that intimidation factor and thinking like, oh, okay, these are my guys I've been looking up to over the years, and you gotta lose that. That has to be banished from your thoughts as you head onto the field to play one of these big events. As you all know, I mean, you've been great at that. You know, you came up through the ranks and then made your pro debut a couple years ago, and now you're one of the best players out there.
Thank you.
So it's on your good days.
Yeah,
on your good days.
My good days. Yeah.
Maybe not so much in the finals last year.
Okay,
World Cup.
come on now. It's the first event, 2011. But yeah, and I got a chance to talk to some of the CEP kids, the guys on the team in this off season, and they're just excited. And I say, hey, you have to be excited, and you have to just turn that into, staying positive when you play on the field, because you're going to get down, and you can't get frustrated. And don't let that excuse that, hey, it's your first year, that's a mistake. Just got to learn from it. I mean, stuff's going to happen, and you just have to learn from it. So.
And how did you guys handle that mentally? I mean, you kind of reinvented the Aftershock squad, and you had to deal with that a lot. Younger guys coming onto the scene and dealing with that quick learning curve. So, I mean, you have, of all people, really could probably have some things to say to them.
Yes, I learned, I guess you could say that our team learned, our core group of guys, just by small steps, trial and error, and just learning not to make those same mistakes we did. I mean, it'll happen every now and again, but you just have to learn from your mistakes, and you have to have faith in your teammates.
Absolutely, that's so big.
You have to believe in each other, and that's to say with these guys, they can't. It's like going out there. I know these guys believe that, hey, my teammates want this as badly as I do, and they have the confidence in each other, and they're going out there and they're playing. And like you said, they're fearless, and I think that's a big reason why they can play that way. It's because they're knowing they're making this jump as a team, and they're succeeding.
It's also cool to see another Midwest team come up.
Yeah. But yeah, it's nice to see a team make that jump. But for you guys watching the game, another long drawn-out point here. We got the Ironmen and Dorito 1 corners, 5 up for the Ironmen, and CEP still down 1 body.
Yeah, really slow point, man. I mean, so we're at 16:25 right now left on the clock, and this has been one of those slow, methodical points, which you're going to see when guys are in good positions. Like, okay, now we see.
Yeah, good job.
Yeah, right.
We got him.
Just jinxed him. But at the same time, Keen's been playing pretty well for CEP. And the Ironmen are always going to play, or not always, but they're going to take it. They're going to take what you give them. And they're looking at. They had 2 guys in really good field position. It took them a while to work them out.
And they just lost 2 guys in the penalty.
Yeah,
you start talking about 2 guys in field position, and then they go 2 guys on the penalty.
Why is I'm telling you, it's always like that. I don't know why.
More. Call out 1 more. 3 times the charm for somebody else. So, Ironmen just received a penalty on the Dorito side, eliminating 2 guys over there. We've got new guy for the Ironmen.
Humphreys,
just getting in the snake. Got another player behind him, and then looks like that might be Spica filling out there to a little cake on the Dorito side. While CEP just lost the body now, their snake corner.
That's not good. So now it's 3-on-1 right now. Ironmen in the driver's seat. And here they come, coming down that Dorito side of the field. Looks like Scott Kemp or Kyle Spica.
Yeah. You know what's eerie? Is you don't hear that coaching on this Dorito side.
Yeah,
it's just eerie to hear the silence. Because right now you know that if there was a coach over there, this point would be over.
Yes, this point would be over because
I mean?
he'd be screaming at him, telling him, joysticking him down the field. But I like that addition. I really do. I think that it just lets people play the game of paintball. Whereas if you make a good move, somebody can't blow it by just saying, he's coming, and that's kind of big.
And with how this field layout is on the Dorito side, it's definitely huge. I mean, you're going to see what we thought you think you're going to see from how we're looking at it is you got Ironman eliminating the last CEP player. But you're going to see a lot of rundowns there on the Dorito side.
That was a really smart play by the. It looks like Humphreys might be hurt. He's limping off the field.
And the Ironmen don't have too many players, so that could be a problem for him.
Yeah, they're running with 7 guys, so that really could be a problem for them if he's hurt. Because he's been doing work over here on this Dorito side or on the snake side of the field for him.
Yeah, and it's there's a lot of new players in the league this year in the pro division, and it's nice to see.
It is cool to see. I definitely, it's good to see the new blood come up, and somebody's got to carry the torch because you can't play forever.
It's true.
Even though people try.
True. That is very
so how's
true.
Aftershock looking this year?
Pretty good.
That was very profound.
I'd say it's going into the first event of the year. I don't want to say we're not confident, but we never ever feel ready enough. Especially with the layout that came out a week before. We had a line that went out and played, but it was cold. We had to play outside, and we didn't get to practice as much as we liked this weekend, earlier this week. So I mean, we feel pretty good about it, and the things we want to do. But after watching these pro games and seeing how slow it is, it's definitely like we want to play the field aggressive. We just want to go at teams, and now we're kind of rethinking things, and so it's just like, hey guys, we made a game plan. Let's stick to it. Let's see how it goes our first game, or first 2 games, and then go from there. We had some personnel changes again, lost some guys.
Who'd you lose?
Greg Sewers left the team like a week ago to play for Infamous. So that left us with 9. So we got 9 guys at this event. We got Chris Asoya. Saw him, said, hey, I'll roster you for the event. So we'll see how Chris does. But say having Chris on the team, as opposed to having him on the sidelines coaching, is just a plus. I love having Chris on the field. I've played with him since I can remember from practicing Shock, and it's always a lot of fun.
All right, let's see this breakout. 5 gun. No, it looks like a gun. I think he turned his air on. So it looked like Chatanooga had a brief malfunction as one of the players had to turn his air on. That's never good. And the Ironmen able to get out all 5 alive. Good crossfield spread for them. All the back bunkers on both the Dorito and the snake side of the field, and the back center, like Paxton in there.
The CEP almost mirrored, except now they're filling the Dorito 1, and they have, instead of a snake corner, they got a snake can. 5 alive.
Let's see if that. And it is interesting that these guys have. I wouldn't say that none of the teams have played aggressively. I think the Russians and I think Dynasty had some aggressive looks. But we're definitely seeing a slower game being played right now. Oh, big move. Big move by Chatanooga. Nice job. Get all the way into the 50-yard line. Doritos, as they lose one of their back players out of their bunkers. That's what we're seeing a lot of. Talk about, want to say something you're seeing a lot of? Guys dying out of their bunkers. And that's been a huge difference. I don't know whether it's just the first event, the first event of the year, coming off the off season or what, but watching a lot of guys just make those small mental mistakes, getting shot out of their bunker or losing, a not real crazy gunfight.
And there you go, CEP taking that point. Well, in a field where this is this slow, it's going to be gunfighting.
Absolutely.
The way people are playing, and so that's, hey, if you've been working on your skills in the off season, this is where they're going to be tested.
Yeah, this is definitely the time to shine. If you've been working on that gunfights, and sometimes, especially guys that have to play indoors from the Midwest or the East Coast, a lot of times that's really all you can work on.
Yeah,
at least
that's all we need to
refine. You can work on a lot of other aspects too on an indoor, depending on how big it is. But the gunfights are definitely one of the things that you should not be slacking on.
Yeah,
coming into the first event.
I'd like to give a big shout out to the refs out there. doing their job.
Yeah, the refs are. It's interesting that we have the same reffing crew. Well, a few misses here and there, but it's pretty much a lot of the same guys.
They're just like a pro team, though.
They are,
in a sense. Like we're saying, the pro players know the refs just as the pro refs know the players. So.
It's such a thankless job too. And another thing about being a referee is, as a player, you have to go out, you play a couple games, and then you got to stay around and watch some games too. But you're not out there every single game, getting shot, dealing with the elements.
Yeah, getting to the field at 6:30, putting on your stuff, standing in the elements, getting shot.
But it's pretty nice out here. Galveston is definitely blessing us with some great weather.
It definitely reminds me of Phoenix. Just the weather and how it is. So you couldn't ask for better weather. Better weather.
It's a tongue twister.
Yeah. But score's tied 1-1. 13:15 left on the clock, and coming up on 25 seconds to the third point.
Watching Los Angeles Ironmen take on Chatanooga CEP. I'm Matty Marshall. Got Nick Sloviak from Chicago Aftershock up here.
Yes.
Got about 15 seconds left to go. And in between the next point, I want to kind of pick your brain about the last World Cup, because you guys played so well up until the end, man. You really did. You did play amazing until the last game. All right, let's see on this next breakout here. Kind of a slow start for the Ironmen on the whip rounds. And they're able to get all 5 alive, though. Every back bunker for the Ironmen. Chattanooga, good field position on the snake side.
Got 2 in the back center for Chattanooga, 5 alive. Both teams simultaneously.
Chattanooga doubling up that back bunker. Gun shooting each way out of the back stand-up temple. Oh, referee running in there, though. Anytime you see that referee do that slow run, kind of staring at you, that's when you start thinking, oh my God.
It's never a good feeling.
Yeah, never a good one.
Where am I hit? What did I do? Chattanooga filling in the snake.
Keen getting in there. He's been solid. He's definitely consistently getting in the snake. Yes.
Consistent is a very good word.
And there's really no one stopping him. I was going to say, there's no one stopping him right now. All he has to do is just come around. Now, going to try to get that crossfield shot on the back corner bunker. And I don't think the Ironmen know he's in there. No, Mike definitely knows he's in there.
Mike might have just caught him in the pack. Hold on. I say Mike Paxton for the Ironmen has been doing a fantastic job.
Yeah, Mike's been playing amazing so far this event. He did have a small lapse. They lost that last game at the very end with 4 seconds left, and if he saw a move, he tried to make it, and hey, that's paintball. But if he had just waited 5 seconds, they wouldn't have lost that, or they wouldn't have scored that point. It would have went past that. But so Keen in here, just being a sieve. And that's the thing, is a lot of times as a front player and you get in a really key spot, you kind of have that, oh God, I need to start gunfighting, I need to get in there. But a lot of times if you just chill out and take a lot of pain, have a lot of people shoot at you, it's going to open up other moves for other team members.
I say for CEP, for Chattanooga's first pro debut, they're doing a fantastic job of just having a level head.
Yes.
Whether they're listening to their coaches here on the snake side or they just know what the game plan is on the Dorito side. They're doing a fantastic job. They're not making too many, any stupid moves, not getting shot, and they're like filling out. But still got 5 on 5 here.
Yeah, and they're tied 1-1 right now. And I mean, their first game. Oh, and then he gets shot out of there. It's just the day of the jinx, man. It's the day of the jinx. He was playing well, and I'm wondering. I think Chris Lasoy was up here. No, Nikki was up here talking about how there is a little bit of a gap in that 50-yard line snake, and balls can't come in over there, and I think that's what happened. You can't go to sleep in there. Even if you're in there and you're just kind of hanging out, taking some paint, looking for your angles, you still got to stay tight.
Yep.
Some really good field position for the Ironmen. They're slow playing this game. Ironmen are slow playing this game.
Big move coming up crazy. On the Dorito side.
Oh, there we go. Big move though. So 2 moves made off that run through.
The thing that surprises me here is the CEP is still doubled up in the back center.
Yeah, and it's not a hard bump. You can get out there.
But then a big move for CEP, film from the snake corner and all the way to snake 2.
And they finally makes that bump out. And continuing to move up on the Dorito side. Oh, nice shot.
Wow.
CEP able to get a shot on Billy Wing, and now coming down the Dorito side of the field and up the center. Uh-oh, this might be a penalty if he's hit.
No.
Oh, look at CEP just running through. Nice job.
Nice move by.
Oh, major penalty.
On CEP?
Apparently.
Might have been overshooting. It could have been.
Couldn't quite tell. Looked like it might have been.
There's Barrett Edgerton with that move through the middle. But I'm not too sure.
Well, that was an awesome move.
Yeah.
And it looked like
awesome.
It might have been an overshooting penalty, which is kind of questionable to me, honestly. That didn't look like malicious overshooting. It looked like more he was confused and didn't know if the guy was alive or not.
Yeah.
Which is understandable considering kind of the chaos on a move like that. So the referees are
having a little powwow there in the center of the field.
Yeah, a little camp out there in the center, discussing things.
Yeah, but that was a great save. As we talked about right before during this point, CEP playing calm and cool with level heads. Bodies running down the field, people trading out. You know, I was just impressed. Didn't see that from them. They sat back on their guns, and then there at the end, Barrett making a move through the center of the field. So the penalty, yeah, that hurts, but they got the point. And, until that penalty's up on the board, we're not going to know what's coming.
And I wouldn't even, I couldn't even criticize Barrett for that.
Yeah.
That's even okay if he did draw the major penalty. It is unfortunate, but looking at it from this point of view, that was not a malicious overshooting. He wasn't doing it to punish the guy. He just didn't know if the guy was alive or not.
And
so.
in those cases, you have to put paint on the guy.
Absolutely.
You have to make sure
yeah,
you're
you got to put paint on him, man. You can't take the benefit of the doubt on that one. Everyone's wearing some paint at some point on a run through like that because that's when chaos can develop. So, and that was a good move. That was a pretty good counterpunch move. I mean, the Ironmen looked like they were going to take the advantage, and a couple kills happen, and then boom, you make that game-changing move. That's one of those game breakers right there. That's that game breaker.
It is. Chalk went up for Barrett.
Yeah, and they are, chalk a game breaker up for Barrett. First one of his pro career.
There you go.
So 2 minutes, 2 minute major is going to go up on the clock, and the 1 minute minors, 2 minute majors. If you get a minor penalty, it comes off if you win the point, stays on if you win. Oh, we got a replay.
I love replays.
All right, you look at this. Barrett cuts through the inside, and you see the Ironman players left alive coming through, and then here comes Barrett. Bam, smokes one, smokes the other.
Yeah, you know what?
And
he saw the Ironman player go into the Dorito.
Mm-hmm.
Was unsure if he was eliminated. Okay, turned his attention to Paxton in the tower, and then switched back.
Mm-hmm.
And as that happened, as he was pulling the trigger,
he was just a little confused.
And you know what?
Hey, again, I can't criticize that. I cannot criticize. He did everything he had to do. Yes, he drew a major penalty, but he did nothing wrong. Unfortunately, a penalty was assessed, but it was a beautiful move. He cut on the inside, cut back, shot the Dorito guy, and then took Pax down. It was awesome. Good job, man. It just unfortunately now he's gonna have to sit in the penalty box for 2 minutes.
Yep.
9 minutes, 27 seconds left to go.
Well, this will be a really good test for CEP.
Yeah, they're gonna have to dig deep here with 4 bodies. They've got some penalties. They've definitely got some penalties so far.
Yeah, that Dynasty game was pretty.
Yeah, that was a brutal game for them, man. That was definitely welcome to the Pro Leagues game. So good game, or good point so far by the Ironmen as they have been at B short up on the Dorito side of the field. And it looks like Kyle Spica up here at Snake 2 shooting cross field.
You got 5 alive for the Ironmen, while CEP lost one shortly on the break. And it looks like one of their players is having some gun problems.
That's not good. So basically two effective bodies on the field right now.
Yes.
For Chatanooga. Minute and 15 seconds left on the penalty. Spica making a move to the 50-yard line and being backed up by Scotty Kemp coming up there in the center.
You can say for everyone watching, you can say CEP loser Snake player, but you can see how with 5-on-3, you hear mostly an X-ball. You have to drop the hammer. You have to realize when that team is 2 bodies down. But on this field, that back line, the corners and the Snake, and the corners in the back center can really.
Oh, Spica is putting on a clinic right now. Can
really hold off the last our whole 5 guys.
Nice job. A little double dose of Kyle Spica over here on the Snake side of the field. And Scott Kemp runs that flag in.
Nice point by the Ironman.
Yeah, nice point by the Ironman.
But I'd say CEP, I would say with points being as long as they are, About a minute and 30 seconds off that penalty, so.
32 seconds left on the penalty. So, and it's all tied up at 2 apiece. Very interesting game so far. And Chattanooga, they're hanging in there. I mean, other than that game against Dynasty, I'm kind of liking what I'm seeing.
I am. I'm happy for them. I'm looking forward to getting a chance to practice against them up in the M-Dub.
So, you guys going into World Cup last year had a phenomenal event till you get up to the finals. And I remember I was in your pit. You guys you didn't take them lightly. I mean, I didn't think that you didn't approach the game mentally wrong, which is even more frustrating because then that would be so easy to just blame it on that.
Yeah.
But talk to me about where were you mentally, kind of coming off that that last loss.
Coming off the loss?
Yeah.
It was a really long flight home to think about all that stuff, and I mean everyone was disappointed with how it went, and you say to lose 7-0. I mean that's really, really frustrating. But we got together and we talked about, hey, we made it to second. We've got second place at World Cup. We made it all the way. Everyone played phenomenal, and it's that one game. That game could have happened at any point in the tournament. So we had to be proud of how far we'd come, and we're going to have faith in how far we can go. And all that meant for us was, hey, it's next year. The thing that we want to do is, hey, don't just think that was a fluke. So, coming into this event, we want to come out strong.
I think that's a good point. And it's up to you guys to prove it.
Exactly.
But that's a good spot to be in, man. And another thing that's going to be tough for you guys now is that no one's going to take you lightly anymore. No one's going to be like, oh, playing Aftershock, new younger squad, rebuilding, et cetera, et cetera. You guys aren't rebuilding anymore. You're built.
Yep.
So, all right, let's see the breakout here.
Still 4 for CEPs. They have 25 seconds left on their major penalty.
So Brandon Short getting shot, trying to run and gun to the 30-yard line. Dorito, and they lose Kyle Spick over here. So just 3 Ironmen left in the back bunkers in the center of the field.
CEP spread out across the back. Mating to the snake now.
Nice move by Chattanooga to get into Snake 2. That's Keen. Like I said, he's been very consistent. Very consistent. He's always in there.
Yep.
I mean, he hasn't been stellar out of it, but he's definitely consistently getting in there and being a thorn inside. And that's actually really important.
And CEP now getting their body out of the box. So it's 5 on 3 for CEP.
7 minutes and 10 seconds left to play here in this match. Scott Kemp insert Dorito on the snake side of the field, trying to chop cross field at the 50-yard line. Dorito, who was playing really tight in there, man. Trying to.
Yes, he is.
Let's see how Contordite can get my body and still gunfight.
Oh, I was thinking when you brought him up, he was going to get eliminated.
Oh, nice job by Keen. Feast on Scott Kemp's head. And let's see if he can wrap around and get a shot on Mike Pax in the back.
Yep. Now, he just needs to chill out here.
Yeah.
Don't gunfight.
Not get too greedy. He's in a really important spot right now. Yep. The rest of his team needs to move up. These guys are still in their back bunkers. They need to be at the next set of bunkers.
Exactly. CEP, second player in the snake. All right, there we go.
Wow. And Ironman concede the point, and look at Chattanooga's got a lead, 3-2. Still a ton of time left to play.
Yeah, so the game is no way over, but I would say from watching the Ironmen battle back against the Russians to win, to seeing them play Chattanooga, CEP. Mad props to CEP.
Yeah, I'm impressed, man. They came to play some paintball today.
So, Matty.
Yes.
I got to ask you, how was your off season? I mean, I saw you out there a lot last year, your camera, working it. Just
the off season was good, man. Worked on some projects. Into jogging, running a lot.
Nice.
Beautiful San Diego.
Oh, yeah.
My birthday's around Christmas at all times, so I had a great off season.
Good to hear.
I was just training nonstop.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Gunfighting.
Every time I saw you had a bigger camera, so you gotta see maybe if you were doing some curling, doing some
tons
diving
of curls.
With the camera.
Yeah, that's just how I like to roll. Nah, that's good, man. It's an Ironman calls a timeout.
Yes. So one thing that's nice, so we were talking about earlier about the changes in the no coaching on the Dorito side, but they have now made timeouts are 2 minutes now, and the time in between points, instead of it being 1:30 like it was last year, is now a full 2 minutes.
Yeah, it's tough with 1:30, especially if you're, let's say you're running 7 guys,
Seven
right?
guys, or 8 guys like Vicious.
Yeah, you run 8 guys. So not only do you have less people to help you clean up once you're in the pit, you got less time, and say you get run down, quadruple tapped on the top of your dome in the snake. It takes a little bit to kind of clear the cobwebs out.
Yes, it does.
When you're running out there, kind of shaking off the buzzing sound.
And I can tell you what, we talked about that last year. Because hey, there's that last guy left, you put paint on him. You shoot him in the pack. It doesn't matter who it is. We're not trying to single out an individual player, but that takes people out of their game when they have to rush.
Yeah.
To try and get ready to flip a point.
Well, we talked about this earlier when Chris was up here, or Nikki was up here, and Mike Paxton runs down and obliterates, I think it was Justin Cornell's head.
Yeah, the 50.
And he could have shot him anywhere he wanted to, but he purposely, well, I don't know if it's it probably was, purposely shot him in like the neck and head. And this is pro paintball, man. That's you got to take your lumps, you give your lumps, you take your lumps, and it does take longer to kind of, you got to go back and cleaning goggles is always a pain. And that's just part of the game, man. That's just part of the game. You go across the center of the field playing football, and you got to go up for a ball. You're going to catch a heater to your ribs, and this is paintball. So, got about a minute left to go.
So I'd say I've seen Justin playing pretty aggressive over there on that Dorito side with that no coaching, no one telling him he's coming. That might get in some players' heads like, well, maybe I should slow it up a little bit. Not overextend myself, not give the other team a chance to come down and put the pain train on me, but.
I think that I always enjoy the kind of physical nature of the professional game of paintball, especially back in the day when the guns were shooting 25 balls a second, uncapped ramp. It was a little bit,
it was scary for me back then.
You'd go and be in the shower at the end of the event and count your welts. You'd be like 47, 48, 49. Mm-hmm. Why do I do this?
Yeah, this hurts. Look like a leopard at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And then, say for me, it was never nonstop, just paint coming out of my hair. I think I get it all out, and I'd wake up in the morning with pink stains on my pink and yellow stains on my pillow, and my mom yelled at me so much.
Or when you get shot in the ear, and 2 weeks later you're still taking magenta paint out of your ear.
Yes.
All right, 6 minutes 20 seconds left to go. Score 3-2. Chattanooga up on the Ironmen. They lose. Player trying to get out on the snake side of the field. They're doubling up that back center.
But you know what? They're one drop from the Ironman.
And look at that. We were talking about not getting stuck doubling up that back center as the Ironman drop a guy, but Chattanooga able to get out.
I said the one thing though, Cyber, you notice Chattanooga is double up the back center consistently, but they're not getting that kill off the break.
No, they're not getting that kill off the break.
Oh.
So Kyle Spica, going in hard. Looked like he might have hurt his shoulder, but he's back up, grabbed his gun immediately, all the way past the 50-yard line. Getting down a big chunk of this snake. And he's going to wrap around and get a shot on the back center. Ooh, misses that shot.
There's only 2 seats. I don't know how.
But the back center does not know that he's made it that far up the field. And finally, he gets a shot on that back center. Nice job by Spica.
Only one CEP player remaining in the Dorito
just CEP there in the back corner, or Dorito, 30-yard line Dorito bunker.
So it's a 4-on-1 right now. And the guys on the Dorito side have no idea, really, it would seem, because you'd think in any other tournament right now, you'd see that guy getting run down.
Yeah, exactly.
There's one player over here.
And also, I was wondering, Spica finally made his move out, but there's just one guy left over there. You just start blocking him out and get down the field.
Exactly.
So here come the Ironmen, getting on the board, tying it up.
Tying it up. I never would have guessed that. The Ironmen are tying it up with 5 minutes left in the game. And it's 3-3.
Yeah, that's. Wonder what if you were a betting man.
No, we've been betting all morning. We've been talking.
since you're a betting man.
Yeah.
What would you have put the line? What would you have called this game?
The score?
Yeah.
I probably would say
score.
5-2 Ironman. 5-2. I mean,
considering their game against Impact, that wouldn't have been a bad call.
I'd say my game for Impact, I was putting CEP 6-4. And just to say it was 5-4. But the Dynasty game against CEP, I never would have guessed. Penalties, okay. Dynasty, the veteran team, they definitely took full advantage of that. But I would have given CEP probably a really close game, a 2-point game. I'd give Dynasty the win, but
Yeah, and a lot of talk has gone to this, gone on this subject. But okay, what kind of dynasty team are we going to see this year? You know, they got Oliver Lang back, they got Mouse, they got Hinman coaching them. We could see a resurgence of the dynasty franchise. That remains to be seen.
Yep. You know, a part of me, I grew up watching them. I grew up watching Aftershock, and then it was Dynasty. It was Dynasty, and they were guys I look up to. They were a group of friends, you know, in a sense, like the same age group, coming up the ranks, and like I don't know how many younger kids aspired to be like them. And so I hope they can come back. You know, as a competitor, I want to beat the crap out of them when I play them. You know, but they've got veteran guys on that team that know how to win, and they've got some new guys. So it could be a rebuilding year for them. They might not do as well as everyone hopes they will, but they're definitely going to be a contender. They're not a team you can just take lightly.
Absolutely not. And also, it's going to be interesting to see. Let's look at this breakout right here. Oh, tripling up that back center. Chattanooga trying to get a kill off the break, and they're not able to do it. Ironman making out 5 alive, and then a core sample, literally. Wow. He probably should try to clear his barrel before he tries to shoot his gun.
He should not shoot his...
Oh, yeah, that was not the
eliminated.
I wonder how his shoulder's doing.
Wow, that was...
Wow, that was... I haven't seen a core sample that bad in a while.
Yeah, and he's looking like he's in pain. He's definitely going to be feeling that one.
Yeah, I mean, when you take that... You take that 68 bottle to your shoulder like that. I've seen a lot of dislocated shoulders that way.
And now I think we got Rob Goldsmith on the snake for CEP. Still say 5.
Oh, and he gets shot in his back. You got to get low there. That's just a mental mistake. Got to be aware of your body, and just came right up into that lane. So, so no bodies left alive on. Well, at one body left alive for the Chattanooga on this snake side of the field, and the Ironmen with 5 alive. They've got a good spread. Under 4 minutes to play, and this is when I think that the experience of the Ironmen might really come in and be a factor.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. You know, I'm sure, say, when Billy and Mike go back in that pit, they're telling these guys, hey, make your spots, find the bodies, you know, zone up, communicate. And I can see the Ironman guys looking back and forth, talking to each other. I know Paxton's yelling right now. Billy's talking to him. I can see him, you know, pointing and talking, coordinating the team.
And that's how they beat the Russians.
Yep.
You know,
exactly.
I mean, that game looked like it was curtains for them. They had 3 bodies to Russians 5 in sudden death overtime, and it was Brandon Short, Billy Wing, and Mike Paxton, and they were able to pull that game from the brink of defeat and win it. So you always got to keep that in mind when you're watching the Ironmen play, and time is starting to get short. 3 minutes left on the clock. All tied up at 3 apiece. Let's see what sort of gumption Chattanooga has. Chattanooga player on the Dorito side of the field, just zoned up on that snake. He's trying to get a shot on Humphreys, who's just posted up on the back corner, and if he's put the back corner in, he needs to get around to get up to this 50-yard line.
Well, so,
stay low.
But you guys got Paxton, though. I don't know if he's going to be able to make that move. He'd have to put Paxton in to go there.
No, the player for the Ironman. See, he's shooting down the tape.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I thought you were talking about the Dorito side.
But that too, I mean, that would be a hard move to make. Much better field position if he could do it.
CEP losing their back center.
There it is. Here we go, taking advantage of that. Here comes B Short, streaking down the Dorito side of the field, dropping the hammer.
CEP conceding the point. You know, smart, methodical paintball by the Ironmen.
Yep. Is that just like we're talking about? It's that experience. And that's the thing. Once you've been in those situations so many times, it really does become second nature. And yes, constantly the variables change. However, the situation remains the same. And it's being in that, having the awareness that, and honestly, that's, I think what makes the difference between a good paintball player and a great paintball player is the ability to, when the chips are down and you are facing a situation where you're low on time, the game is close, and you know that any mistake could cost your team potentially the tournament, that's when you play your best. And that's why, that's how legends are made. That's how you hear these guys' names all the time. Those are the guys that are able to do that. And that's how, like, a big guy like Mike Paxton is able to be one of the dominant forces in paintball because, you know, even though he is a big dude, his timing is so great and he's so clutch. You can always count on him.
Yeah, I couldn't put that any better myself. I mean, that
score 4-3. You're starting to get that way too, man. You know, you've pulled off some clutch wins, and I mean, what goes through your mind when you're in that situation?
Just the only thing I'd say is listen to your instincts.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you can't overthink it. You just have to go with it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You just gotta feel it out in a sense.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you can, one of the best things I try to tell to younger players is, you know, just getting the basic sense of field awareness, where all the bodies are, and not relying on a coach, is the best thing you can do, because that allows you to see the moves that you need to make. To, you know, to sometimes, you know, have those game breakers.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you have to, and then knowing the field, knowing how to make those moves in close games, and then in a sense too, how to protect yourself from losing those points, those critical points, how to lock it up, and just practice. You have to practice.
Yeah, you got to practice. You got to get that repetition.
And if you can visualize it happening before it does, you can tell yourself how these, you go through game plans in your head, and how.
I used to, you know, when I was in that situation, as we got a timeout called on the field, I just remember, you know, Shane Pistano, when I first got on the Ironmen, he used to say to us, and I didn't get it when we first got on the team, but you slowly start to get it, is that the will to win is incredible. Obviously, it's total cliche, but until you're in that position and you know the difference between just saying it and actually being it, it's huge, because you really have to truly believe that I cannot die. We cannot lose. Like, it's not going to happen, and be utterly shocked when you do, even if it's 2-on-6. You know, you have that visualization in your head of success,
yep.
And you make that become your reality. So no matter what the situation was, even if it was 2-on-6 or we're down a ton of bodies, you know, Shane would always say, look, man, we would set up game plans so that we would take ground but be down bodies. And then he would always say to the guys that were left alive, he's like, look, I know you're going to win. Make it happen. And so when we'd be in that situation, regardless of who you were playing, regardless of the situation actually on the field and where the different players are, mentally you're just trying to find that and work in those kills and exert your dominant will on whoever it is. And it's that, and that's was my favorite part of the game. I loved that. I loved when things were going bad and it was 2-on-5 or something. Or I loved that. That was my favorite times playing paintball.
Yeah, I'd say it's see who you are as a paintball player. That's when you're truly tested.
Yeah, because that's the test. It's like you play. I mean, it's easy to win a point when you shoot 2 guys off the break and you go run down and shoot a bunch of guys. It looks cool, but that's not really a test of oneself.
Yep.
You know, when money's on the line, when respect is on the line, you worked your ass off to get to that point, and you have the chance to show your peers what you can do. That's the test. That's why you play pro paintball.
Exactly. It's an amazing feeling to do it.
All right, good breakout for the Ironmen. 5 alive, guns up, hard all the way across the field, and got under 2 minutes to play. In Chattanooga, bodies are flying, penalties, and the flags are flying in the air.
There's a lot of stuff going on.
Oh, and another major penalty. Chattanooga just completely falling apart right now.
I'm not sure what happened.
This is what we're talking about. This is when composure and experience comes into play. Ran it short, grabbing the flag, had to drop it, and then able to dip back in, grab it, and run it in. And they care about that point spread. It was interesting to see the Russians drop a point. Did you see that at the very last game where the Russians took too much time?
They were checking each other and not paying attention to the clock, you know?
Which is weird, because that's not a mistake you would think they would make.
Not at all.
That could come into play because they lost their first game.
Exactly. Even though a lot of these games have been tight so far, if you can hang that flag and get that extra point, it's going to make a difference.
Yes.
I mean,
and it's now with 2 major penalties for Chattanooga, this game's pretty much over. Minute and 30 seconds left on the clock. A score 5-3 in favor of the Ironmen.
Yeah. It's not looking too good, but we'll see what happens to see if they might have put 2 up on the board, 2 major penalties, and only intended for there to be 1.
And the Chattanooga is the only team that's being plagued by penalties right now. They're the only team that's really kind of been hurt by penalties. Not a lot of penalties today. The refs, either everyone's playing clean, or the refs are being nice, which I don't think is the case. The refs are not. Typically, they're on top of it normally. Yeah. They are not shy about letting those flags fly. That's for sure. Which is good, because if they let you guys, you get away with murder.
Some people. I mean, I don't want to name any names. But, yeah, I mean, it's That's part of the game. I'm not going to deny that. Hey, if I get shot and I can slide on it when I'm making my move, I'm not going to do it. I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
I want to win.
Yeah.
And
that's why there's refs out there.
Exactly. And say these refs, they're top notch. They have a system down that's really good, and it's really rare that they make those mistakes. I mean, it's say another thing that's hard on them is you've got how many people here in the stands? A couple hundred people here watching this game, and you've got 15 refs. So people here are going to see something that they're not, but it's very rare that they make major mistakes, and that's another high five to them.
Yeah, they're doing a great job.
So something to me does not look right in this game point, because although there's 2 majors, CEP only has 2 players on the field and 1 in the box.
Yeah, they're just
something that
falling apart right now.
Yeah, that point was.
And this might be the fastest point of the year. Well, it's obviously the fastest point of the year so far, but I might put a bet on that. That might be the fastest point of the entire year.
Yes.
Because Chattanooga only fielded 2 players
and they had 2 in the box.
to answer the horn, and they had 2 in the box, so they just didn't get their 5th guy even out to play, which is a huge mental error.
For them, I'm sure their heads are down right now. It's got. The end is in sight. Okay, but they really have to learn. So that one match tomorrow, they have to really keep their heads up.
Yeah.
And just say, this game's pretty much over with. Let's work on tomorrow.
And they really shouldn't even feel that bad about their performance today.
Not
honestly, not at all. If I was, I don't even know the team well, and I'm proud of them to come in first event, to play pro, and to have the showing that they've had. Yes, they got a lot of penalties. Yes, they're falling apart in this game right now, getting beat by the Ironmen, and they did get shut out by Dynasty. But that being said, to come from where they have come from, and it's because it's not like they were moving. It's not like they were Vicious. Vicious was winning, dominating. So when they moved up, it made a logical decision. This is a big leap for them. It's a big leap of faith, which I think is awesome. But that's on the other side of the coin. It's also a bold move.
Exactly.
So to come out and have some pretty competitive games, though they threw this one away, it was very competitive in the beginning.
Yeah, and that's something to learn from. You can't let these things happen, because so they get those 2 penalties, and this last point they didn't throw it away like they did, not having the 5th body out there. The game's been tied back and forth every point. It's been back and forth.
Up until the last run that they just went on, which really started with a bunch of penalties. And they really can't hang their heads too low. Yes, they need to be critical, but we've got about 10 minutes or 10 seconds left to go here. Minute 04 left to play in this match. We're here in Galveston. I got Nick Sloviak, Chicago Aftershock up here doing some play-by-play. I'm Matty Marshall, and this is the PSP. So they finally fielded the 3 bodies, and they're able to make it out alive. Rolling their guns to Chattanooga, and the
Ironmen.
Ironmen lose Billy Wing off the break.
Well, CEP loses 2, so there's only the back center.
But here comes Paxton, and let's see. Paxton's going to put it on this guy. He was rather kind, actually.
Yeah, and Mike would say, and I want to see Mike punishing that guy. Look at the score. Look at the situation.
That was the gentleman thing to do.
Yeah.
That was definitely the gentleman thing to do. So props to Mike for not necessarily being as vicious as he could have been.
Exactly. And say people for watching that, there you go, talk about field awareness. Mike saw the 2 bodies drop, knew that there was only 1 guy left, and he went straight from their back center all the way to the other side.
Yeah. And he knows that now if that was a midpoint or a game that was or a point that was going in the middle of the game, he probably, I'm sure Mike would have put it on him a little bit harder to make him spend more time to kind of clear his head and clean up. However, last guy left alive, last point.
There's no reason to draw the penalty.
No reason to add injury to insult. So
exactly.
That is going to do it. Congratulations to the Los Angeles Ironmen. They take down Chattanooga CEP. Very good game by the Ironmen. And, Chattanooga, rookies to the league, rookies to the pro division, rather. And really shouldn't hang their heads too low. Penalties plaguing them. They need to fix that. But that's just a desperation ploy by a young team trying to make something happen. So congratulations to the Ironmen. They beat the Russians today. They beat Chattanooga. They did lose 1, but they do look pretty good. So congratulations to them. Nice job by their coach, Kevin Brettauer, Skinny Kevin of Dynasty fame from back in the day. So we got more paintball coming at you here. This is 2011 Galveston Island Open, PSP, inaugural event of the season. We'll be back with some more paintball in just a few. Don't go anywhere.